Ex-Republican candidate slapped with many charges. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. 8 people were shot according to Florida police during a Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration in Fort Pierce. One of the victims was said to be in critical condition. More than 1,000 persons, according to the sheriff's office, was present at the MLK Car Show and Family Fun Day when the shooting took place at Louis Ellis Park at 5:20 p.m. And there was a disagreement of some sorts between two parties, and unfortunately they chose to resolve that with guns, St. Lucie County Chief Deputy Brian Hester said. He said this was supposed to be a very peaceful day, but it turned into chaos. Meanwhile, an ex-Republican candidate for the New Mexico legislature, who according to police claimed election fraud after losing, has now been charged with a number of offenses. Among the charges including multiple counts of shooting at 4 homes of Democratic representatives and shooting from a moving vehicle, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, conspiracy, and having a firearm while a felon. Solomon Pena was detained on Monday after losing his bid to represent State House District 14 in 2022, and he's charged with paying 4 men to carry out a plot to shoot at the residence of 2 county commissioners and 2 state representatives. At a press conference, Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina stated that Pena is thought to be the mastermind behind the shootings that took place in late December and early January of this year. And this man is a known felon who a judge allowed to run as a Republican candidate after they tried to prevent him from running. In 2007, he was convicted of 29 charges, including burglary, receiving stolen property, and larceny. He received a reduced sentence after being sentenced to 25 years. Then he got another reduced sentence to 9 years. He had lost all his rights to vote and was only reinstated in 2021. That means he didn't even get to vote for his god, Donald Trump. He's a well-known prison bud. And if you want to hear how bad the Republicans are, go to my YouTube channel, Jamaican Undiluted News, and hear about Republican Congressman George Santos, the man who can tell more lies than Trump. Over in Jamaica, the family of Joseph Joe Mercer Marley bid farewell to the late reggae singer on Tuesday. There was a memorial service at the Bob Marley Museum in St. Andrew and a funeral procession and a stop in Trenchtown, the birthplace of reggae. Joe Mercer was the first child of reggae singer and producer Stephen Marley and the grandson of reggae icon Bob Marley. He was laid to rest in 9 Miles in St. Anne. It is said that a suspected asthma attack is to have claimed Joe Mercer's life on December 27 in Miami-Dade County in the U.S. He was 31 years old. Meanwhile, an altercation outside a school gate in St. Thomas Technical High on Tuesday afternoon left a male student with gunshot wounds. According to reports, the injured boy was engaged in a fight with another student when he allegedly brandished a weapon to stab the pupil. A bystander who is a legal gun owner sought to break up the altercation. However, things got out of hand and the man raised his gun and 1 round was discharged, striking the student. He was brought to hospital and his injuries are not thought to be life-threatening. The licensed gun owner then informed the police, who are now investigating the event. Meanwhile, a chronic sex offender from St. Catherine has been accused of raping a 12-year-old child according to the police. Kimar Coleman, 32 years old, has been charged with 6 counts of rape, grievous sexual assault, buggery, and sexual touching a child by detectives working for the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse, CISOCA. According to reports, Coleman engaged in appropriate sexual activity with a 12-year-old girl while she was at home on multiple occasions. And this is a clear case when a man deserves the cat o' nine punishment. And for those of you who don't know what a cat o' nine is, it is a whip made from leather with 9 extremely hard strips made this way to inflict maximum pain. In an alleged confrontation with the police on Wednesday in Denhamtown in West Kingston, a juvenile was shot and killed. Elvis Keep, age 18, has been named as the deceased. The Jamaica Constabulary Force Corporate Communications Unit has verified the incident, and according to reports, Keep was among a group of men who opened fire on the police, and he was found with gunshot wounds after the police returned fire. A 9mm Glock and 9 live rounds of ammunition were found. And as the murder continues, one man who is thought to be the primary suspect in the murder of a man whose body was discovered with his throat cut along Salt Pond Road in St. Catherine on Tuesday morning has now been taken into custody by the Spanish Town Police. But before the police made the arrest, Angry residents set fire to the suspect's house, which was unoccupied at the time. The authorities have not yet released the victim's identification. Meanwhile, a man was shot and killed in Miketown in Manchester yesterday morning. He has been identified as 48-year-old Michael Brown of Miketown and Waterford in England, United Kingdom. And it's reported that about 12:30 a.m., Mr. Brown was at his unfinished house in Somerset District when he was shot by gunmen. He said to have flown to Jamaica to bury his mother who had died. So he left all the way from England, come Billy's house, only for someone to make sure he does not get to live in it. Most likely this killing is as a result of jealousy or bad mind. People on a mind how no flex when you go to Jamaica. It is not the same Jamaica you left in the 80s or the 90s. Them will shoot you for a straw. Once you live out of Jamaica longer than a year and you try to return and build any structure, you become a target. It is a known fact that returning residents either get murdered or have to flee back to where they come from. And this might ruffle a few people's feather, but the truth must be told. Tan where you're there, build where you live. A 41-year-old construction worker was fatally shot in Oracabessa, St. Mary on Wednesday. He has been identified as Miguel Nash of Boscobel Heights. Mr. Nash was shot outside a nightclub in Boscobel about 11:40 p.m. and it's reported that a man walked up and shot him several times. Mr. Nash was pronounced dead at hospital. The St. Mary police said that he was on their radar for alleged involvement in criminal activities, and he's the fifth person to be murdered in the parish since the start of the year. On to sports. National champions Edwin Allen High School and Kingston College dominated the Douglas Forest Invitational Meet at G.C. Foster's College in Spanish Town over the weekend. Edwin Allen, which will be searching for their 9th straight title and 10th overall at this year's Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championship, secured 9 victories including 5 1-2 finish. 2 of Edwin Allen's 1-2 finishes came in the 800 meters, where Michael Dyke coach team secured a clean sweep. KC, which dethroned Jamaica College at last year's Boys and Girls Championship to win their 2nd title in 3 years and 33 overall, had 5 victories at the development meet. Among KC's 5 victories was a 1-2 finish in the 5,000 meters open, courtesy of the school's Kenyan athletes. And KC has African students from Kenya who they bring in to run for them. And that's the reason why track and field in Jamaica is so interesting now, because you have people from Kenya or other African nations who go in to run the long distance. Football. Cambridge FC snatched the last semi-final spot in the St. James Football Association Major League after holding 10-man Granville United to a 1-all draw in their return game at the UDC Field on Tuesday. The point earned from the draw was enough to give Cambridge FC the edge over Lilliput Rovers, who were beaten 2-1 by Reggae Youths at Spot Valley High. Cambridge FC and Lilliput went into the final set of games tied on 19 points, both hunting the 4th semi-final spot to join Reggae Youths, Flanker FC, and Granville. And please remember that if you ever miss the news on this station, just go to YouTube and type in Jamaican Undiluted News. You listen, you like, and if you're there for the first time, please subscribe. Also hit the notification bell that as soon as we upload, you'll be the first to get it. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.